The legendary humorist Will Rogers said he never met a man he didn't like. Darrell Royal, legendary Texas coach, said, and I quote, Will Rogers never met Barry Switzer. And Barry Switzer, the legendary head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, said beating the hated Longhorns made him happier, quote, than a pig eating unquote. This is a rivalry that turns lovers into haters, haters into demons, and otherwise normal coaches into pigs in colorful metaphors. This episode of Rivalries is presented by Allstate. Texas versus Oklahoma was played before one of these states was even officially in the United States. And if both states left the United States tomorrow and became their own sovereign republics, I'd put good money on them still playing each other across international borders. The Texas OU rivalry ticks every single box on the list of what makes a great rivalry. They're neighbors who want the same thing, but have to go through the other to get it. They're similar in so many ways, but just different enough to make the divide wide enough for a literal and metaphorical river of hate to flow between them. States with cowboy credentials and oil baron wallets. States where people care so much about football, they have to meet in the middle in Dallas, Texas, where they divide the stadium in half just to keep everyone civil, where the very name of the rivalry had to be changed because it was too intense. It used to be way, way more hostile. Go look it up. Where they have 4 trophies just to cover all the glory. This is the Red River Rivalry. Like sitting next to your worst enemy at the Cotton Bowl at noon in October. It's going to be hot, it's going to be hostile, and it's going to be oh so close. These two teams first played in 1900. That's 7 years before Oklahoma became a state. So it's not a stretch to say the game has more history than at least the state of Oklahoma does. The pattern in the rivalry, long streaks of dominance, a whole lot of crossing state lines in both directions. For instance, Texas began a long streak of wins over Oklahoma with the hire of Darrell Royal. Royal played quarterback at Oklahoma under fabled coach Bud Wilkinson and went 11-0 as a starter in 1949. Despite Sooner ties, Royal soon became a scourge for his former school, winning 12 of his first 13 games against the Sooners. That streak ended with the hire of Barry Switzer, who went 3-0-1 against Royal on the field and went 1,000 against him off the field by being a total nuisance for his nemesis in Austin. It got ugly. Royal accused OU and coach Barry Switzer of spying on Texas practices. Royal, in turn, challenged Switzer, assistant coach Larry Lacewell, and the alleged spy Lonnie Williams to take a lie detector test. If they passed, Royal would donate $10,000 apiece to the charity of each man's choice. No one took the bet. Switzer and company might have passed, but Royal still wasn't wrong. Oklahoma had been spying 4 years earlier when Chuck Fairbanks was the head coach. By the way, the spy openly bragged about posing as a painter inside Memorial Stadium and had been hiding out in a restroom to take notes on the practices. This wasn't James Bond. Switzer would go 9-5-2 against Texas. Towards the end, he even employed a young offensive coordinator named Mack Brown. Mack Brown would, of course, cross the Red River himself on the way to becoming a very successful coach as the head man in Austin. But even Mack Brown, who won at least 10 games for 9 straight years at Texas, wasn't immune to the Red River Rivalry's streaky strangeness. Brown lost 5 straight games in the series until Vince Young came along to break the string in 2005 and finished 7-9 against the Sooners' lifetime as Texas head coach. Unlike a lot of rivalries in the realignment era, the Texas OU rivalry has only become more chaotic and intense with age. 9 of the last 11 games in the series have been decided by a single score, including a pair of upsets in 2018 and 2020. In 2023, Dylan Gabriel threw the game-winning score with just 15 seconds on the clock.
Dylan Gabriel, a legacy-making drive!
In a world of cooling rivalries and fading traditions, the Red River Rivalry only seems to be gaining its own heat and gravity. And as a protected rivalry in the new SEC schedule, it means they have to do this madness every year. Here's a quick survey of the best and least civil moments in this rivalry. 1958, Texas had lost 9 of the last 10 going into this game. Texas upsets OU by a score of 15-14. I'm so glad you noticed that weird score. Texas went for 2 on the first TD of the game. This game effectively revives Texas in the rivalry and establishes a very inaccurate reputation for Darrell Royal as a kind of gambler. He was not. He hated passing the ball. He's the one who said 3 things can happen when you pass, and 2 of them are bad. 1976. Remember those spying allegations? The president tried to mediate with the 2 in the tunnel before the game. Then this happened, according to Switzer's autobiography. As we became visible walking toward the field, there is some old redneck drunk Okie, obviously, who stands up several rows behind us and roars in this voice you can hear all the way out to the 50-yard line on both the east and west side. Who are those 2 assholes with Switzer? It's only appropriate that neither team won that day. They tied 6-6, thanks to a late extra point snap that sailed over the Oklahoma holder's head. 1984. Switzer says he only put the hat on because someone gave it to him and it was pouring rain. It said "Beat Texas" on it. Whether you believe him or not, he did in fact wear it during a pivotal matchup between the number 1 Longhorns and the number 3 Sooners. You're probably saying, it'd be funny if Oklahoma lost this game after their coach wore a hat saying "Beat Texas" on it on the sideline. It would be, but what actually happened was so much worse for OU, and even funnier to anyone else watching. After a late controversial call on what Oklahoma fans will swear was a game-sealing interception, Texas kicked a field goal to tie the game 15-15. The bitterest possible finish for all involved. 2000. Oklahoma was supposed to be this fun little air raid team. Instead, Oklahoma rushed for 245 yards in this game, with running back Quentin Griffin scoring 6 times, while Texas ran for -7 yards total on the day. That's 21 feet backwards. In a rivalry game, you lost 63-14. Texas was so stunned, they didn't win against Oklahoma for another 5 years. 2020 and 2021. Really, this is a package deal, a kind of Godfather 1 and 2 bundle. You have to watch both for the full effect. In 2020, the 2 teams go to 4 overtimes in a game with nothing but huge quarter-by-quarter swings of momentum before a wild OT finish to give Oklahoma a 53-48 win.
Intercepted! Trey Brown! A Red River showdown for the ages!
2021 script, it happens a little differently, but with even more drama. Texas led 28-7 after the first quarter, then watched that lead evaporate as Caleb Williams took over at QB for Spencer Rattler. Williams had 212 passing yards, and Kennedy Brooks rushed for 217 yards and 2 scores, including the winning 33-yard touchdown with only seconds remaining.
What happens on this field of this rivalry is remembered forever.
Lunacy, and one of the few sequels living up to the original. It's best play time. 1 for each team because we are fair. For Texas, Stonie Clark's goal line save. We don't give the big men enough love here. And in 2 states with that much quality barbecue, that seems like a crime. On 4th and goal, the big man tracked down OU's James Allen on an end around, giving the ball and the win to the Longhorns with just 36 seconds left on the clock.
The big man put a lot of giddy up in his gallop and got there in time. Oh, what a great play.
For Oklahoma, there's only one choice. It's Superman. 4th quarter, 2 minutes to go with just a 7-3 lead for the Sooners, and Roy Williams doesn't even ask the tower for permission to take off and land.
There's the blitz! Touchdown, Lehman! Touchdown, Oklahoma!
The ball finds OU defender Teddy Lehman's hands. The Sooners go up 14-3, and every quarterback in the world gets a brand new nightmare to put into the nightly rotation. To sum it up, pure sports hate. Wild swings, a whole ton of beef on the sideline. Real beef, like the 2,000 pounds of Bevo, the steer who serves as Texas's mascot. But also like the kind of regularly scheduled grudge match that's so good and so pure, you'd need to separate the 2 of them with an actual river if there wasn't one between them already.